bikers saved a waitress working 2 jobs. When they learned why, the whole town stopped in shock. Every night, Samantha Hayes wiped tables, carried trays, and poured drinks at the same small diner on the edge of town. Most people noticed her tired smile. Some even tipped generously. But nobody noticed the pain behind her eyes. Not the lines forming from sleepless nights. Not the exhaustion in her hands after double shifts. Not the quiet desperation in her voice as she joked with regulars to hide her worry. Her father, recently diagnosed with a serious heart condition, had mounting medical bills. Samantha had no choice. She worked 2 jobs just to keep him alive. One night, while she refilled coffee and wiped the counter, a biker sitting in the corner overheard her story. The next day, she would return to find dozens of motorcycles parked outside the diner, engines rumbling softly. And suddenly, the diner she had worked at for years would feel different. Because sometimes, when the world turns a blind eye, the right people notice, and they show up in a way no one forgets. Before we continue, hit like and subscribe to Hidden Heroes. This story reminds us that courage isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet, tireless, and invisible until someone notices. And in Samantha's case, one quiet act of listening would change everything. If you heard someone struggling silently, would you help? Or would you walk away, assuming someone else would? Because one biker decided not to walk away. Samantha's life had been a balancing act for weeks. Morning shift at Denny-style diner. Evening shift at a small bakery downtown. Every minute accounted for. Every dollar calculated. She had mastered the art of smiling through exhaustion. Polishing the counter while her legs ached. Carrying plates stacked high with eggs and bacon while forcing herself to appear cheerful. Her coworkers thought she was dedicated. Her regular customers thought she was polite. But no one knew she had been skipping lunch so she could afford her father's medications. No one knew the nights she cried quietly in the kitchen after both shifts. Her father, George Hayes, was a retired mechanic. His hands, once strong and capable, now shook as he tried to tie his shoes. The surgery was expensive. Samantha had already drained her savings. And tonight, the reality hit her harder than ever. He walked in quietly, leather jacket covering a large frame, boots scraping slightly against the diner's tiled floor. Marcus, Reaper, Dalton, biker, mechanic, father of 2 teenagers, and a man who could usually ignore the world around him. But tonight, something made him pause. He sat in the corner booth, ordered a coffee, and began flipping through his phone. Then he overheard her story. "Don't worry, Dad. We'll figure it out," Samantha whispered as she refilled ketchup bottles. Marcus stopped scrolling. He noticed the subtle tremble in her voice. The way her hands shook slightly while holding the tray. The exhaustion radiating off her like a visible aura. He'd seen hard days before. He'd seen people struggle silently. But something about the quiet determination mixed with fear grabbed him. By the time Samantha left for her second job that night, Marcus had made a decision. The next morning, Samantha returned to the diner. She was exhausted, rubbing the back of her neck and muttering under her breath about her father's upcoming appointment. When she stepped outside, she froze. 8 motorcycles were parked along the diner's sidewalk. Leather jackets, patches, helmets tucked under arms. Engines idling softly, creating a low hum that vibrated the air. One biker stepped forward. "Marcus." "Morning, Sam," he said. His voice was calm, non-threatening, but carried a quiet weight. "You're not alone anymore." Samantha blinked, unsure if she had misheard. "You what? Why?" "Let's just say we're here to make sure people notice when someone's in trouble," Marcus replied. At first, she thought it was a joke, a prank, a misunderstanding. But when the bikers didn't leave, she realized this was real. Regulars stopped mid-step, staring at the unusual scene. The cook behind the counter gawked from the kitchen window. Drivers passing by slowed to watch. Some whispers spread. "What are those bikers doing here? Do they know her? Are they going to cause trouble?" The bikers didn't answer. They simply lined up near the entrance, casually leaning on their bikes, silent guardians of the diner. Word got out that Samantha had been working herself to exhaustion to cover medical bills. Locals who had ignored her struggles suddenly took notice. But more importantly, the bullies and rude customers who had mocked her in the past stopped. There was an unspoken warning in the leather-clad biker's presence. No threats, no confrontation. Just quiet, steady watchfulness. Within a week, Marcus had coordinated something unexpected. Other bikers, friends, and local business owners began contributing. donations to help with her father's surgery, free meals delivered during her second shift, community members volunteering to drive her father to appointments. Samantha was overwhelmed. For the first time in months, she didn't feel alone. But that was only the beginning. In episode 2, you'll see how the biker club uncovered the shocking financial struggle behind Samantha's double shifts, how dozens of bikers worked together to help her family beyond just showing up at the diner. The moment Samantha finally realizes the power of community and unexpected heroes, and a heartwarming ending that restored her hope in humanity forever. Trust me, episode 2 is the moment this story truly hits the heart.